As a coach, I learned a lot of things about teamwork and training. I had a lot of positive experiences. I had some negative ones, and I took away a lot of things from that. So a lot of my talk is going to be geared around those experiences, and some of the things I'm going to throw up here may work for you, may not. You know what I say? Use the grocery store method. What you can use what you don't. You know, I was a high school student. I had a chemistry teacher named Mr. Matlock. He was a bald guy. He was kind of old, kind of a crusty guy. He was a little bit intimidating, actually. And I was a pretty good, believe it or not, as an athlete. I wasn't an airhead, all right? I was taking chemistry because I wanted to be a biology major in college. I was about a 3-4 student in high school. And we took our first test in chemistry my senior year. And I was working on getting the college scholarship, so I couldn't really afford to have my grades slip. Although I was probably pretty safe. Mr. Matlock, I did really poorly on my first test. I think I got the first P in my high school career on his test. And I was freaking out. Okay? And I went to Mr. Matlock. I said, Mr. Matlock, look, I'm freaking out. I can't have a D. And I totally blew this test. He said, yeah, you did. And I was like, oh, great. You know, thank you very much. You know what he said? He said, Karl, don't worry about it. He said, we haven't done any labs for this section yet. When we do the labs, all of this is going to make sense and you'll be fine. Don't worry, that's only a certain percentage of your grade. Obviously, I don't remember, it was 30 years ago. But he said, it's not going to affect you in the long run. You'll pick it up. And if you don't, if you're still struggling, let me know in a couple weeks. And we'll sit down and do some things to make it right. Okay. Well, we did the labs, and it just clicked with me. It all made sense. And I ended up doing, I don't think I got an A, I think I got a B. But, you know, that was what I needed. And him taking that time, you know, just to say, it's going to be all right. It's a sequence of events. Don't get too frustrated. You're going to pick up. Made an impact on me. I remember that going forward when I had kids, even my own kids, that would get frustrated in certain situations and say, hey, it's only one step. It's a long process. Don't worry about it. It'll be okay. And if it's not, we'll work through it together. And that made an impact on me. And you guys have the opportunity to do this. You never know what that is. Just that small seed can make a huge difference. Okay, here as a player in college, this is my assistant coach, Dale Robert Brown. Little teeny guy from Maine, had that heavy New England accent. You say, oh my God. He's just a cracker. He's a great guy, just very calm. He was the peaceful side. I played for one of the best coaches in college basketball history. Nobody knew him when I played for him, but they know him now. His name's Rick Pitino. Y'all know Rick Pitino? He's the head coach of the national champion Louisville Cardinals. I played for coach at Boston University, his first head coaching job. He was 5 years into his career when I went there as a freshman. And he was one of the most negative, yelling, condescending jerks I've ever met. Honestly. But here's the thing about it is, I got to tell the story a little bit because when he came and recruited me, he said, Karl, you know what? This is my style. He said, there'll be days when you want to punch me in the face, and there'll be days when you want to hug my neck. And he said, if you think you can handle that, I want you. And I was all about that because I needed a butt kicker for a coach that I didn't have one in high school. But anyway, coach, it was hard for me because my self-image, my ego was a little bit sensitive back then, and coach would say things, and I can't even repeat them. Okay, but there were just things that ate away at me, and ate away at me, and ate away at me. And one time, maybe about 2/3 of the way through my freshman year, I went to Coach Brown, who I really liked, and I said, Coach, I can't take it anymore. I don't think I deserve a scholarship. I'm not good enough to play here. And he goes, you're an idiot. He said it with a smile, okay? He did. He's like smiling, he goes, you're an idiot. And I go, what are you talking about, Coach? He said, listen, the reason Coach Pitino's yelling at you is because he believes in you. Do you notice he doesn't yell at this guy, doesn't yell at this guy? It's not because he doesn't believe in them. He just doesn't see the same potential in them that he sees in you, and he wants to try to bring that out, and that's his method of doing it. And he said, so here's what I'm going to encourage you to do. Put out all the white noise when Coach is yelling at you, and listen to what he's telling you to work on, and go work on it. And I was like, ugh, that makes so much sense. Guess what? I applied that. It changed my whole career. And it just made a huge difference for me, for him to take that time. So those are some things that, again, I want you to think about. What can I do? How can I improve? How can I be better? These little things change a lot of people's lives involved in the stories I'm telling. I'm sure you guys are going to have something to think about too. Another survey question for you guys, another interaction question. What do you guys say is the key to happiness? Somebody said money. Somebody said attitude.
Yes.
Anybody else? Your health? Relationships. How you perceive yourself.
Good answer.
I think all those are very, very accurate. Okay? And I think they're all part of the formula. But for me, what I found out through my almost 51 years is the key to my happiness is this. The key to my happiness is when I'm serving somebody else. Because all those things relate. The way I perceive myself improves when I go serve somebody else. When I stop being a taker and start being a giver. Does that make sense? Okay? When I serve other people, chances are there's going to be some monetary compensation with that comes back at some point in time. Might not always right away, but what I found is it usually comes back. And so I think the key to happiness is serving other people. Here's what's exciting for you all. You get to serve people every single day. Come on, smile with me at that. That's exciting. Because if you know all those things that are the key to happiness come out of serving other people and you get to do it every day, you guys should be the happiest people anywhere in the world. And I'm sure you're not making Donald Trump salaries, okay? And I'm sure there's a lot of other things that go on in your life. But when you can walk away at the end of the day, you know what? So I served those kids to the best of my ability. I put a smile on a kid's face today. That's gratifying. That makes you sleep, care about other people more than you care about yourself. Everybody succeeds. Why does it work that way? Well, because if you guys care about your students and your coworker and the parents and the school board, doesn't everybody succeed in that process? And if they have the same attitude, right, if the parents and the teachers and the school board and the vendors adapt that attitude because you reflect that attitude, then life does get easier, doesn't it? And everybody succeeds in that process. Okay? Here's a powerful statement that's really hard. When you're up against it, go serve somebody. How many of y'all have had some challenges in your life? Okay? I'm sure you have. My wife passed away 13 and a half years ago. That has been a challenge. Okay? Raising my children by myself for the most part has been a challenge. But through that process, because of the mentors I had in my life, I learned to go take my eyes off myself and go serve other people, and it's made a world of difference for me. It's not allowed me to wallow in self-pity and oh, woe is me, and find out there's a ton of other people that have been through exactly what I've been through. There's thousands of other kids who have lost their parents. And I wasn't going to be the one that sat back and let that destroy me or my children. And not because I'm so great. Number one, because I had some mentors that were examples to me, and I have a faith that carried me through that. But it's a powerful statement to understand that when you're challenged, if you take your eyes off yourself and you go serve somebody else, you find out your problems get smaller. Every time I went and served somebody else when I was feeling bad, that problem suddenly got easier for me to handle.